Welcome to New Day Cleveland. I'm Natalie Herbick, and we are taking you to a peaceful getaway that is just 40 minutes from downtown Cleveland. You're going to feel like you're in another world here in Grand River Valley. This has really become wine country out here, and it consists of more than 20 different wineries. I'm at one of them right now, one of the newest locations, Laurentia, and we are going to explore this in just a minute. But first, we're going to talk to a local couple about what makes Grand River Valley so special.
So the Grand River Valley is an appellation where grapes are grown. It's a growing region for grapes, and it started out about 100 years ago, and it's expanded from American grapes native to this area to grapes from Europe and all over the world, really, to provide a very unique and versatile array of wines. We have 22 wineries. Red Eagle Distillery is the one distillery that's there. And we also have a variety of different things you can go do. You can go kayaking on the Grand River. You can go through a lot of our metro parks. Lake Metro Parks is a phenomenal park system.
We moved here about 2.5 years ago after we got married. And I lived in California for about 10 years. I actually grew up not too far from here, so on the border of Ashtabula and Trumbull County. But I lived in California, and my family ended up bringing me back here. And because I was in California, I spent a lot of time in wine country. And Eddie, when we met, he had asked, "What are you going to miss most about California?" And I said, "Going to wine country all the time." And he introduced me to this area. We had our third date at Debonne, and after our third date, I was like, we need to move here. We have to buy a house. So
and 2 years later, here we are. The coolest part about this area is its natural beauty. And you see that in the parks that I mentioned. You see it in the river, wild and scenic river with bald eagles flying overhead. It's a spectacular place. And it's also got these wonderful wineries with a very, each having its own unique, wonderful characteristics and excellent wines.
If you're in Cleveland, if you're in Pittsburgh, if you're in the hustle and bustle, it's great to come out here because you hear how quiet it is. You hear the birds chirping, you come out, you sit on this patio, you have a nice glass of wine. It's a very relaxing, beautiful getaway from the city activity.
You're seeing more wineries. In the 2 years that we have lived here, 3 of them have opened. There's another one under construction. And you're seeing new products as well. Misty and I have created, in partnership with Red Eagle Distillery, Red E Vodka, which is made from grapes grown here. You're beginning to see products from this region in the marketplace as well. Bissell Maple Syrup makes a bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, which is truly phenomenal. This is the perfect getaway.
I am so incredibly excited to show you around Laurentia Vineyard and Winery. Leonard, when you first even just come down the pathway to get here, I was blown away.
Well, we took great care in installing that driveway through the woods, and we avoided all the mature trees and took great care in putting that road in.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's tree-lined, these huge, gorgeous trees, and then it opens up to your beautiful property here. The vineyards are all around us. It's so interesting, too, that looking out at the grapes, you have them covered, and it's different from what we normally see. They're normally exposed.
Yes, this is a Chardonnay vineyard out here, and they're netted to keep the birds out of them.
Oh, so very simple and good reasoning for doing it, too, right?
Yeah, the birds like Chardonnay.
Well, I do, too, so this is going to be a great day for us. So the actual building itself, your winery here, stunning. I'm sure this is something that is all year round that people can come.
Yes,
and
yeah, we are open all year long.
So can we just pop up to the bar? Is this what normally people would do? I mean, the door's right there.
Yes,
we just
absolutely.
walk in, come up to the bar.
Absolutely.
And one of your wonderful ladies here help us out.
Yes, Candace, we'd like to try a little Chardonnay, estate Chardonnay. And this Chardonnay was picked right out here.
So how many different varieties of grapes then do you have?
We have 13 different varieties, and we offer 13 different wines at the time.
Have you always been a wine drinker?
I have.
You have? And so you enjoy it thoroughly?
Yes, I did.
So you know what you're talking about here. Well, cheers to you. I want to
cheers
taste
to you.
this. You can smell the oak barrel around it before you even sip it. That's incredible.
Yeah, very nice.
I'm gonna have. Do you see what he did there? You know how many times I've done a vineyard and I still haven't got down how I'm supposed to drink it on that first sip.
Well, the front palate is very important. And there's the mid palate and the finish.
And once you let that breathe a little bit, I'm sure this gets even.
It opens
it
up.
tastes
Yes.
even better.
Yeah, it has a really good mouthfeel to it. It's a nice Chardonnay.
So when you walk up on this first floor here, obviously people can come, drink wine, the fireplace, four-sided fireplace for people to come and sit at. Then you have the outdoor space. And do those doors shut then in the wintertime?
They do, and we do sit out there in the wintertime. We do serve out there, and it's spectacular in a snowstorm.
But I haven't seen downstairs yet, and I heard
Well,
that there
you're in for a treat.
I have a feeling I am. Can we take this with us?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
This is our cellar, and we have a full-service bar here. It's quite popular with customers, and they will enjoy sitting down here in the cellar.
Well, you have this huge long table. I'm guessing that you probably could host some people who want to bring a big family together or a birthday gathering.
Yes, we do house some events. It's popular with bridal showers and birthday parties, and I think Thanksgiving dinner would be good down here.
And that would be amazing. You know what? I need a place for Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe we'll have to stop.
We can sign you up.
This, when you walk in and you see the barrels, and then these are the concrete ones.
These are concrete, yes. We do ferment in concrete. Concrete allows the wine to breathe. It has the same effect as an oak barrel without the influence of oak.
So where you pulled that from, that's out west more so, right?
That's from California, yes. They do some in California. Around here, not so much. It's fruit forward, so the fruit is really true to the characteristics of the wine, like Chardonnay, so it's really true to the Chardonnay flavors.
And the really interesting thing right behind us is a separate little, what I call a VIP room.
That's the VIP room. That's the wine library.
So what goes on in there? I want to know what the VIPs
Well,
get
the
to do.
VIP tastings. There's wines offered to the VIP tasting that are not offered across the bar.
Well, I can't believe how close we are to downtown Cleveland, and yet you come here and you feel like you're a world away on the countryside somewhere. It almost makes you feel like you're in Napa or somewhere out west.
Well, that was our plan.
Well, you succeeded.
Well, this place deserves, just like California has nice wineries, this area deserves nice areas and wineries too.
It's gorgeous. It is worth the drive to come here. I absolutely love it, and I think I could get used to sticking around here if that's okay with you.
Yeah, you
We'll
could.
see. All right, this is one of the newest wineries in the Grand River Valley. David, after the break, is taking you to one of the oldest.
Well, Tony, the first time I came out here to Shale Deon was 37 years ago. Would you say things changed a little bit here?
Well, you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. That's just beautiful. I think a lot of things have changed here, including what you call the area right now.
Oh, this is the destination. You know, we were the only winery here back in the 70s, and things were, you know, people would come to the winery, have a little bit of wine and cheese and go home. But now we have 24 wineries and 2 new ones coming up, and a distillery here, and of course our brewery. And you know, people come here now for the weekend, for a number of days. They come from Pittsburgh, Columbus, from all over Canada, and so it's really a destination. No different than Long Island, or you're going to Napa Valley, or you know, wherever those people like to go for a tour and tasting and interest to see different things.
So right here we say, welcome to the Grand River Valley.
Well, that's the key word, Grand River Valley. You know, it's the best growing area in all the Great Lakes region. Lake Erie really has a huge influence on our ability to grow fruit. We have 160 acres growing in the ground right now. They're producing our fruit. A lot of the people in the area are producing really good wines, and it's starting to get outside the area. We have thousands of people every weekend coming out to this area.
You know what I think people forget about wineries or the Grand River Valley or any valley where they grow wine? It's an agricultural thing. So you come out here, you're coming out to the country, and it's a fabulous getaway and experience, and you have all these different places to visit while you're here.
And people, I think, are finding out about the quality of the wine that we have. The Californians are finding out about it. They're surprised at what we can do here.
Well, you're growing.
And we're growing. And I think when you come to the Grand River Valley, you want to experience those people that are growing the grapes and making the wine out of those grapes. So you feel the character and taste the character of the fruit that we have here.
So how many different kinds of grapes do you grow now? How many different kinds of wines?
We have too many. We have like 25 different because it started with my grandfather's Concord
100 years ago.
100 years ago on the farm here.
I saw the sign out there.
Yeah.
100 years.
Well, now we're raising Sauvignon Blanc and we have Malbec and Semillon. These are all new varieties that we're finding out that we can grow here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah.
We had one bad year in 2014, a little tough one in 15, but that was the first time in 100 years. And so that fruit is coming back. We're going to have a great harvest this year. The quality is excellent. They love this heat.
Yeah.
Humidity could be down a little bit,
yeah,
but that's only been for a week or two. They love this kind of conditions, and you're going to find really good wines here in 2016.
You know, that's one thing about the wines from Grand River Valley. You know, it's one of those things where the reputation has continued to grow and grow and grow over the years. So it's a different wine than they made here 50 years ago.
A totally different wine. We make a style of wine that they make in New Zealand, Australia, and California, and Europe. That's what we're getting known for. Now, we don't produce big, bold reds, but we have nice Sangiovese blends.
Yes.
Great Rieslings, Pinot Grigio, Chardonnays, Semillon, those type. We're really a kind of a German climate. So we have white wines and lighter red wines, but that's what we shine in.
And you talk about visiting the area here. We got this beautiful place here, Shale Debonne. Down the street, the guy's making whiskey.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and we're making vodka out of my grandfather's Concord grapes. We have a new venture coming out. Eddie Eckert's coming out with this new vodka. We're participating in making the wine. Red Eagle Distillery is distilling into vodka, and then Eddie Eckert and his dad are selling it. And so it's a whole new product from this area that's using grapes, so we can use more of this soil here for growing grapes and marketing it and making a profit. You know, there's nothing better than a profit in an industry and for the community.
Because growth is important. And I got to tell you something too, don't forget the lake is here. So when you come out here to spend a couple days, you can go out on the lake, you can go fishing, you can visit the distillery, you come into Shale Debonne.
Parks.
You have theater here once in a while.
We got theater here, we got Rabbit Run Theater, we have some cabarets going on here. We even had some high school concerts going on here. There's a lot of things to do. I'll tell you what we need the national hotel industry to recognize that we need rooms here.
Okay.
And we'll fill those rooms. That's what we need.
I bet you will.
Yeah,
Man, it's great to see you.
Hey, David, thanks.
I want to mention too, the best bocce ball courts in the world.
There you go. Thanks.
If you're looking for something sweet to go with your wine here in Grand River Valley, you'll find freshly made pies and more in Robinson's Apple Barn.
Robinson Apple Barn was established about 12 years ago. It started out when we were doing an apple orchard, strawberries, and vegetables, and we were going to have people come to the farm and do self-pick and sell from the farm. And we found out we couldn't get anybody to come to the farm, so we had decided we'd come to them. So we started out here with a hay wagon and a tent, and then it worked out to the point of doing our test marketing to put the building up. And now we are strictly to sell from the barn, and everything we grow, including all the apples, is sold through the front door of our market. And it started out as a family operation. It continues as a family operation. My son Steve, he still works with us. My granddaughters, my great-grandkids, everybody in the family is all involved. My son started making maple syrup when he was in 7th grade in high school. And this is how he worked his way through high school, making some extra money and making maple syrup. So to this day, we still make the maple syrup, but I just like to tell people it's fantastic on pancakes, it's great to cook with, but do not waste your maple syrup too much on pancakes. What you do is you get yourself a big bowl of vanilla ice cream, a little maple syrup, throw some nuts on there, and you got a real treat. Probably 90% of the products are local and Ohio products, and if they're not local, we try not to deal with it. We try to stay as local as possible. We have our beehives right outside the building. So if you want to buy local honey, don't get any closer than that. It's raw honey. All the nutrients and everything that's in it, the antioxidants have not been heated out of the honey, so you're getting good raw honey. And it's hard to find raw honey today. The wines and jellies there are made by the Gatherings. The Gathering girls are from Ashtabula here, and they're made out of our local wines and our local beers. So if you add a little cream cheese and a little cracker and throw that on there, you're going to have a real treat. And if you go to a party and take something like that with you, you're going to be the hit. about 5-6 years ago, all the kids were in the market here. One night, about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, we were having a little family party. And my wife says, if I ever had a dog that was my dog, I would like to have a St. Bernard. And instantly I yelled at the kids, do not do this. Well, Christmas morning, here he comes, trotting through the hall, he actually came down the hallway in the house, went right around the corner, went right in the kitchen on Christmas morning, sat right down beside my wife. My son says, Mom, if you don't want him, we can take him back. Yeah, right. So now we have Macintosh. Penny bakes every day. Our pies are made with fruit. They're not full of junk. We've got at least 16 different kinds of pies. And she doesn't bake every one of them every day, but if you have a pie she wants you to bake, you can order the pie and she'll have it ready for you tomorrow. When you look at that pie rack over there and you look at all those different kinds of pies, my favorite is a fork.
The mom should get the honey sticks when they come in.
Within 15 miles of here, there's now 26 different wineries. And if I expanded it to 2025, there's more than that. They're very popular every day. We have a lot of people coming to the wineries, and as they travel around with our location where we're at, they have to go by us going to the different wineries. This is kind of a dream when you start something like this, that your family be involved, and you hope that someday that they come in and take over and continue the business. It's sort of like leaving a legacy as a family.
Robinson's also sells eggs and milk fresh from the farm. Again, it's right in Geneva on the corner of 534 and 307. After the break, a brewery right in the middle of wine country.
Ooh, welcome back to New Day, Cleveland. What do you think of that, Tony? Did I do it right?
That's perfect. Looks good.
POC. Now we're at the Double Wing Brewing Company, here right next to Shale Deon on Doty Road, out here in the Grand River Valley.
You got it, the Grand River Valley.
I love saying that. People call him Tony, they also call him Junior. You call him whatever you like because he's a great guy, and he makes POC, which I remember as a kid. They used to be, what, Pride of Cleveland or Pilsner of Cleveland?
It was Pilsner of Cleveland, then Pilsner on call, and then in the late 70s, early 80s, it kind of got a goofy name that we probably shouldn't say on TV, but that's when it was made in Pittsburgh. So Cleveland, yeah, exactly. We're not taking credit for that one.
When did you make this one?
That was just canned Tuesday.
Oh, so this is a nice fresh beer.
Nice and fresh.
Okay, Double Wing Brewing Company, and this is a place where I tell you, you come out here in the country and you get to look around, a lot of great places to visit, but when you come here, you've got some new beers you're making now that have become very popular.
Yeah, our newest beer that we're bringing out is our Double Wing IPA.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a session style IPA with some Citra notes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then our next beer that's following that up, that is on tap right now, is our Double Red IPA. It's about 7.5%, 90 IBUs, so it's a little bit bigger.
Okay, now we're talking about IPA, so we're standing in the right place to be talking about that, I think, because these are some like really weird looking grapevines, aren't they?
They're large, they're grapes on steroids. No, these are actually hop plants here.
Hops!
Hops that, of course, every beer has them. Most every beer has them. We put this half-acre lot in about 2 years ago, and this is a production of it that's got within 2 years, and we're pretty happy with it right now.
So I think there was a term back in when they weren't allowed to have drinks and beer. They called them hopheads, people that would drink beer.
Yes.
Because of the hops.
Correct. And now the hophead term is really based around the people who only drink IPAs.
IPA. So is there hops in every beer, but there's more in IPAs? How does that work?
Yeah, generally IPAs have a substantially more than like the POC, and different varieties of hop that give you pine characters, citric characters, grapefruit characters.
Now somebody told me they used to grow a lot of hops in North America, but then some kind of disease or something killed them off, and we were importing most of it then.
Yeah, New York used to be the largest hop producer in the United States for a long time until a lot of disease came in and destroyed the plants, and now really the Pacific Northwest is the leader.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, overseas there's just an abundance of different varieties of hops.
So these things are like, they look like little pine cones almost.
As you can see, they're nice and tight right now. As we move along, they're gonna open up real wide and kind of floral out like this, and then we'll know we're getting real close to harvest season. All these are gonna start to open up real nice like a flower,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll cut the top wire,
cut the bottom, and we'll lay them on a trailer, and we'll actually take them to processing.
So when you start to grow these things, they're like a little plant, and then you get them to chase around the wire, huh?
Oh, there's nothing. So I'll cut these off every year,
There's
flush to the
nothing.
ground. They're a rhizome that we start with in the ground. So every year I'll cut them completely flush off the ground, and you can watch them. We put a time-lapse camera on them. They'll grow 18 inches a day in the summer.
My goodness, that's amazing.
And then once they top out about 21, 22 feet,
ready to go.
then they start producing.
How many people drive down Doty Road here in the Grand River Valley and slow down to take a look at this?
They come to a complete stop, take photos, and then they come in to the winery and go, what kind of grapes are those?
I love it. You talk about the winery, so you're right in Shale Deon.
Yeah.
And you look a lot like a guy named Tony I was talking to earlier.
Yeah, my dad. We have the spitting image of each other. I definitely have my mother's height, but I got his looks. So.
Well, you make a great beer, man.
Thank you.
Double Wing Brewing Company, thank you.
Our next stop is another must-see destination. It's a winery that also doubles as a farm. Take a look at Harpersfield Vineyard.
The vines have been here since the mid-70s. The vintner released his first vintage in 1979. We don't bottle anything we can't produce right outside in our own vineyards. So everything that you buy in there comes from right here. And we are known for our Pinot Noir and our Chardonnays. Those are our kind of signature flagship wines. This is our Le Jacques Terrier, little play on words here in honor of Mr. Toby, our Jack Russell Terrier. And this is our lovely Riesling blend that we have right now. It is Riesling, Gewürztraminer, and Kerner blended together. All three of these grapes, estate grown and bottled. They come from right outside in our lovely vineyards. We're all family owned and operated. We're a very close-knit group, and I think that shows in the wine and how we present ourselves. You know, we love each other very much a family. We have Matilda and Mr. Toby. It's over there. They're our little Jack Russell Terriers. They keep us company, the little babies. Seating is just seat wherever you would like, sit wherever you would like, and come and enjoy outside in the beautiful Grand River Valley. Seasonally, we do, you know, kind of focus on the inside, obviously, in the wintertime with our beautiful fireplace in there. Keeps us nice and toasty. So, yeah, you can just sit wherever you'd like and relax and enjoy some wine. Good music. We always have some good music. Friday and Saturday evenings, we have some good blues groups. We do a variety of flatbread pizzas. We do a couple small appetizer plates. Everything complements the wine very nicely. Just some little nibbles to keep everybody happy and fed. It's just an interesting area, our own little niche here in this grape growing area. You know, it's kind of an interesting spot in Ohio. It's just the right kind of climate, perfect area for some of these wineries to grow grapes that we don't get in some of the other regions of Ohio. So it's just an interesting little valley here. You're gonna come here and have a good time and relax and have a few nibbles while you're here, and Toby and Matilda will take good care of you and have some wonderful wine from the Grand River Valley.
Like many of the other area wineries, Harpersfield is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. When we return, a business that was born in a garage.
Well, one thing I tell you about the Grand River Valley is you meet a lot of friendly people here. I've got all of a sudden 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new girlfriends. What do you think of that? Where you from?
Oh, Long Island, New York.
So you're here from Long Island, New York.
Right, I have 53 wineries on Long Island.
53 wineries. So you're counting, keeping track of all the wineries you go to?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good. You get to 53 and you can remember. You're pretty good.
I'm not that old, but
No.
still.
Yeah. Well, I know. I had a couple glasses of wine myself today. And you? So how did you out stomping grapes, or what's going on with this? Yeah. Where are you from? You're from Michigan.
North of Detroit.
Michigan, north of Detroit. She is from Long Island. How about you? Where are you from?
Used to be from Illinois, but now we liquidated and we're gypsies. We just traveled the country.
I found a bunch of gypsies. How about that?
Yeah.
I should. Wild one. So there should be a wagon out there with a tambourine on the side, right?
You didn't see it?
Yeah. So how did you guys all get to different places?
Okay, I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
This is our head.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, where they have fast women and beautiful horses.
Yes.
And we're at a reunion, a Southern Comfort reunion from down in Florida. We all meet down there every year, and now this is our second year we've come up here for the reunion. There's 10 couples of us right now.
We spend the winter in
We
Florida.
spend the winter in Florida.
Well, this is cool. You're in the right place. You're at M Cellars here for a little refreshment, cool down a little bit.
There you go.
Back on the gypsy bus and to another winery. Thank you. What a surprise. Look what I found at M Cellars. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing good, David. How are you?
Good. So what do you got going there in that glass?
Well, I got a little bit of our favorite white that we work with called Ricazzatelli. It's one of the oldest grape varieties in the world, and we're pretty darn fortunate to work with it.
I like that. And what's this one here?
Dry rosé. We make our dry rosé from Pinot Noir and Cabernet Sauvignon. So if you like South France rosés, you're in right here.
So there it is. So M Cellars is on. Now I get confused when I come out here to the Grand River Valley because I was on Doty Road a minute ago.
Yep.
Then it changes into something else. Which part of the road are you on?
Sure, we're on the best part, South River Road West.
See, I knew it changes. Right when you get to the Red Barn where they have the distillery, that's where it changes, huh?
Yep, it's yeah, exactly.
M
Real
Cellars.
close.
What a beautiful place too. This place has been here how long?
We've been open for business about 4 years. We're all a small family-run business. My wife and I, our 2 children.
So the M comes from Matt or
Matt or Meineke, whatever you want it to be,
Meineke,
really.
I like that too. So I look out into your vineyard here. This must have been here longer than 4 years.
So this vineyard is here about 8 years. We planted all this stuff from scratch. This whole business is from the ground up. This was all Concord varieties before. We took everything out and started over.
Somebody told me that you started your business in the garage.
Well, I wouldn't call it a business. It was a hobby.
So
but the idea was kind of born there.
Yeah. So you made your hobby like your life's work and passion.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not so bad.
That's fantastic. I hear a lot of wildlife out there. What are the birds out there?
You do. It's just you know what it is. It's just a recording of birds in distress. It's part of our integrated pest management, and it's a really, really nice, professional way to take care of everything.
I could use that on a deer in Beechwood maybe at my
Absolutely.
house. That's good.
Absolutely.
And how about the sparkly things out there? Are they having a party?
No, it's actually for birds as well. It kind of reflects and it deters the birds from kind of coming down. And we put it in the Pinot Noir. That's the first one to ripen.
The Pinot Noir is first.
Pinot Noir is the first one to ripen,
Yes.
so that's why it's out there.
So, okay, you're talking about your hobby. You started this in a garage as a hobby. How did you learn so much about the plants? I mean, making wine's one thing, right? But then being a farmer's another.
Farmer's a whole other thing. We were really fortunate to kind of work with Greg Johns from Ohio State University and some growers out of Niagara on the Lake in Canada. And that's really, that's kind of our standard. That's our barometer for success. If we're doing what they're doing up in Niagara on the Lake, we're doing okay here.
So the farming comes first and then the winemaking. And I noticed in the tasting room, you got a lot of folks in there just having a pretty good time.
Yeah, absolutely. We sure hope so.
Yeah, and did I notice a chef and a dining area also?
We did. We have a wine pairing dinner tonight, so it's kind of a farm-to-table dinner tonight, so it should be a lot of fun.
And I saw a banner that said something about some kind of East Coast winner.
Yeah, Best of the East for Cleveland Magazine. We won that in 2015, so it's a good thing.
And one of the guys down the street, Tony Jr., told me when you're there, you have to try a wine. It begins with an M.
Meritage. You have to try the Meritage here. That's kind of what we do. It's a state-grown Cabernet Bordeaux blend, mostly Cabernet Sauvignon. We're the only grower in Ohio that's actually growing 100% estate growing the grapes as well and producing it.
I tell you, he's a good guy. It's tough to get him to brag, but at least we found out about that, right?
Absolutely,
Thank you
David.
very much.
Thank you.
Beautiful place.
Thank you.
And guess what? We've got a whole lot more New Day Cleveland coming up right after the break. Delicious.
Thank you.
I do believe that the Lakehouse Inn and Winery is the perfect place to start this show. Andrea's going to help me to give the grand tour, and I think before we get into anything, I have to talk about that spectacular view.
Yes, we are very fortunate. We've got a fantastic view right on the water. We were sitting on about 2 acres overlooking Lake Erie. You can't get a better setting than what we have.
I mean, breathtaking.
It
is breathtaking.
It is.
Do people tell you when they come here that they feel like they're in another country almost, or?
Yes, a lot of people don't realize the size of Lake Erie, and they don't realize it's going to be as big as it is, so they think they're at the ocean.
When people come and stay at the bed and breakfast, what kind of amenities do they have inside?
It depends on the room that they stay in. We have some traditional rooms, which are basically a bedroom. They have a bed, a dresser, chair, bathroom, but then we also have a couple of jacuzzi suites. So they're bigger. They have a jacuzzi tub, a fireplace, little refrigerator, microwave, coffee pot. They're about twice the size. So those ones are really nice as well, especially if somebody kind of wants to hang out in the room for the weekend.
And how about that beach house?
Oh, the beach house is awesome. Yes, so that's definitely, without a doubt, our best unit. It sits right on the water's edge. It has its own deck overlooking the lake. Built to be kind of like a honeymoon suite, but it has a full kitchen, has its own living room, a bathroom with a jacuzzi tub and a shower, so it's a great one.
And you're situated on this great property. You do have the cottages that are right here on the property as well. This restaurant that we're sitting in now is gorgeous.
Actually, this restaurant is only 2 years old. We just built it about 2 years ago, so we have a 50-seat restaurant. We had started with the smaller one. It was only about half this size, and we decided to make it a little bit bigger so that we could accommodate guests year-round.
And the winery itself?
The winery itself is located actually kind of on the hill. There's a production area, and then during the summer season, we have outdoor decks where we serve our wine.
So you're situated on how many acres here?
2 acres.
2 acres. And I think, when people come here, there's so many different things that they can do. One being a place where they can go and relax and unwind at your beautiful spa.
Oh, definitely. Well, and we've built our property so if somebody shows up for the weekend, they never have to leave. So we just built the spa about 2 years ago. We do every service you can possibly imagine, from massage to facials to hair cutting to even tanning. So it's great for couples and for women's, for groups, getaways. But they can come to the restaurant, they can come to the winery. So everybody can just kind of hang out here all weekend if they want to.
And obviously it's a great destination getaway for families. Do you get a lot of people coming here for different things? There's a bachelorette party that happens to be here right now.
We do, we get all kinds of things. Lots of couples, we get tons of girlfriends getaways. That's really big in this area. Bachelorette parties are really big in the wineries right now. So that would be the biggest. We don't do a ton of families. Our lodging isn't quite set up for it, but we do get families that stay in the summertime as well.
And the draw of it itself, when people come here, I was blown away. I do think that sometimes people, they forget how close this is to Cleveland.
Oh, definitely. And people forget what is around here. People forget that Lake Erie is, what an asset it is for us to have Lake Erie. And like I said, we're very lucky that we sit right here on the water and we have it.
So you can come here, have a great bite to eat, go to the winery, sit down and take that view in.
And enjoy a fabulous sunset.
Enjoy the wonderful sunset and know that you have a great place to rest your head within a few feet away from everything within a few feet away from one another.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Grapes hate wet feet, we call it. They want to be dry. So the drier they are, the harder they struggle, the sweeter they are.
Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. We are here in beautiful Grand River Valley. Our next winery stop, when you pull up to the door, you might notice it looks like a house. That's because it was. Here's the story of Hundley Cellars.
My children had a dream. They thought it would be wonderful to open a winery. So we found 31 acres here in Harpersfield, and it has been a tremendous experience, meeting a lot of wonderful people, a beautiful countryside. It's just a family working together, and we love each other and we love the business. My husband and I have loved the area for as long as we can remember. We used to come up here together and enjoy ourselves up here and go to the wineries. When our children were older, they used to come with us and we used to enjoy the wineries and touring around. Then we found a lovely home in Geneva on the lake that we bought, and from that point on, we ended up opening a winery. And it is beautiful up here. It is just so beautiful. And it's a great grape growing region. We've got our vineyard back here, and we should have a really nice harvest from it this year.
It's excellent for grapes because it's got poor soil, and grapes love bad soil. So underneath all of our vineyards, going back and forth, are about 4 feet down, nothing but drainage pipes, because grapes hate wet feet, we call it. They want to be dry. So the drier they are, the harder they struggle, the sweeter they are. Most of ours are whites. There are some reds. In fact, the farm that we bought next door, we're going to probably put that all in reds.
We get as much juice as possible here from the Grand River Valley to make our wines. My daughter was always very good at chemistry, so she's very good at making wine. And my husband, as I said, has been making it for 30 years, so he's very knowledgeable about making wine, and that's, I suppose, what sets our wine apart. When we do it, we do it together as a team. It's not exactly one individual determining how the wine should taste or what they should be, so we work together as a family. More and more people are drinking the dry wines. And it's a very smooth Merlot. Our others that are very popular are our sweet wines. There are people who really enjoy the sweet wines. We have Endless Summer, which is a Vidal Delaware blend. And then we have a Harvest Red, which is the Concord. And of course, Concord is the grape that is grown everywhere up here. And those will be probably our most popular wines.
You're going to find a variety of different things. We're known for our pickling. We do all of our fresh vegetables, our pickles, beets, all of our in-season vegetables. You're going to see a little bit of Eastern European with sausages and pretzels. We have a Mediterranean. I like to do a lot of Asian as well too. So you'll see a cold chilled noodle salad, pot stickers. We have a Soul Train dish. So I think one of the things that sets us apart from all the other area wineries is our menu. We have a very small kitchen, but the things that come out of it are amazing.
This was a home, an L-shaped ranch home that we bought and converted it into the winery. So we were very proud when we opened. I mean, you open up a business and I guess the feeling is, gee, is anyone going to come through the front door? And then when they start coming through the front door and continue to come, and we have a lot of regulars that come back on a regular basis, and so that's a very warm, wonderful feeling to know they're coming back and visiting us again.
Well, I've had people from Europe that have come over and they just say, we love your wines, and they'll write thank you notes back saying how wonderful it was to be treated so nicely, that we didn't realize Americans were so nice. And I think that's what makes us proud, is to know that people enter as guests and leave as friends.
Hundley Cellars is also closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. If you're wondering, the food is amazing. Trust me when I say you're going to want to eat lunch there.
Well, we're cruising through the Grand River Valley and back at a place that we discovered, I think, 2 or 3 years ago with Gene here. It's called the Red Eagle Distillery, and everyone grows grapes out here in the valley. Everyone makes wine, but you're doing a little something different when we discovered you a couple years ago.
Wine's brought a lot of tourists out here, so it's a good place to have something different from just wine. And so we started making whiskey. And that's what we're doing today. We're making rye whiskey. Got all the elements of it together, from the fermenting tubs we cooked last week to a tank of mash that we're cooking this morning, and we're drawing alcohol off the still right now from the mash. We're filling barrels, so we've got all the processes going.
Okay, so last time I was here, we got a good look at the still, and you were making whiskey at the time, right?
Right.
So you're still making whiskey?
Yes.
And you're also making some vodka now, I hear.
We're making vodka as well, yes. We make vodka from grapes. We'll be introducing that this year.
Doesn't somebody in France do that already?
There is, yes.
Yeah.
A couple of good terms for that.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so we got some guys over here working a little bit. This is like the beginning. This is the first thing you do?
You know, this is the end. This is a mash of rye and corn that we cooked last week on Thursday. Mm-hmm. We're going to put it in the pot. We already have one in the pot this morning, another this afternoon, and we're going to bring it to a boil.
What's going on in the big pot?
We're making a new mash of fresh corn and rye and malts.
So that would be what this is?
It's going to be the starting point of this, yes. We'll add yeast to it at the end of the day, and it'll start bubbling. This is the end of fermentation, so you see just a small spurious bubbling in the fermenter.
Mm-hmm. So you walk in upstairs. It's a beautiful red barn place right on South River Road.
Yeah.
And it's set up with tables and a bar, because people can come here and they can buy your product, they can sample your product. And then when you walk in, you get that smell in your nose. What's that smell you get?
It's kind of like bread.
Yeah.
And it's also like beer, because to make whiskey, start with beer. People don't think about that, but we really brew beer. We just take grain and water and brew it together and then ferment it. That's the starting point of beer. We don't add hops, but then instead of hopping it and putting it in bottles, we cook it and separate out the alcohol. On Sunday, we made whiskey, and they're putting 120 proof finished rye whiskey here in the barrel. And it seems odd you would distill it up to around 150, 160 proof, but the government doesn't want you putting it in a barrel above 125 proof. So we added some spring water to it and brought it down to around 120 proof, and we're putting it in new 25-gallon barrels. So,
you sample it ever?
Oh, every once in a while.
There you go. That's
Quality
a good
control.
That's a good job, right? So here's the booze.
that is.
There you go.
And it's clear. It's clear right now, but when it comes out of there, it's going to have a nice dark brown honey color that's come from the char in the barrels.
Let's go upstairs and check some out.
Okay.
Well, Gene, I guess the proof is in the pudding, and here we are. So what do we have here in front of us?
We have rye whiskey, brandy, bourbon, and our new Ready vodka.
This Ready vodka, it looks really great also. So what proof is this vodka?
It's going to be released at 80 proof.
At 80 proof. Okay, so we're standing up here. We're in the beautiful red barn. We're on, what's the name of the road?
South River Road.
South River Road. So don't get confused if you get on Doty Road when you jump off the highway, because Doty turns into South River Road.
It does, yes.
And when you come up here to the beautiful barn, the barn is beautiful. It's a red barn, but you've got you can see all the down into the distillery area. Beautiful place for people to hang out and have a good time. So I can buy this and take it home?
You can taste it, you can buy it and take it home. You can also sit here and consume cocktails and craft beer.
And you can do that 7 days a week, and I think on Friday and Saturday you're open till 11, right?
Yes, we are.
They open at noon, so check them out, Red Eagle Distillery. Thanks, Gene.
Thanks, Dave.
There are all different types of bed and breakfast in the area. We always thought that it's better to have a place that people come to and say it's better than where they stayed at home.
Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. Why not make it a long weekend here in Grand River Valley? You can step back in time and explore the estate of the Harper Inn.
Polly Harper was the wife of Robert Harper. That's her picture over there. And we always make jokes about the dour look on their faces. And we said, well, if she had a jacuzzi and a fireplace and you know, in her room, that she wouldn't be so sour. But that's who we named it after, was Polly. And it kind of flowed together, so that's what we did. We built it, so we started construction in 1997, so we've been opened in 98, so we've been open just a little over 18 years. The world comes to you, which is interesting. Initially, most of the guests came from the ring that comes from the Youngstown, Akron areas. They like to come up here. It's just far enough away to stay overnight and to do something different, to be by the lake or to visit the wineries. And that's initially how it started, essentially the bulk of the customers, the bulk of the guests. But since then we've had more people from the Cleveland area. I think they're starting to recognize this area as being a place to come. And whether or not they become more day trippers, I think we tend to get more people from the west side. There are all different types of bed and breakfast in the area. There are basic ones and such, and then you go up to the more upscale bed and breakfast. We always thought that it's better to have a place that people come to and say it's better than where they stayed at home. I mean, if you were going to have a bare bones type of operation, they may as well stay at home. They may as well come and treat themselves, and so that's what we try to do. We try to come up with new ideas, whether they be small ones or larger ones, so that our repeat guests don't always see the same thing. Maybe the room is improved with little things or with larger things. It was quite a labor of love. It was, there's some hiccups along the way, and there's a strong learning curve when you have a bed and breakfast with guests and how to deal with things and such. And of course the breakfast, you always try to improve the breakfast. Starting out, we laugh at how we used to serve breakfast or what type of breakfast we used to serve, and so you try to build, and there's feedback by the guests themselves, whether it be positive or even some negative feedback that helps us along the way. I want them to come to an area and say, wow, this is a nice getaway for us. They may only stay one night, they may stay 2 nights. Seldom is it more than 2. This area is becoming more of a destination. It's working its way into a nice niche.
Well, I sure hope you've enjoyed your time with us here in Grand River Valley. Isn't it just beautiful? There are more than 20 different wineries here, as we've said. Between Laurentia and the others we stop by, we've only been to a handful, so there's so much to come and explore. Again, only 45 minutes or so from downtown Cleveland, so you can make it a long weekend. You can just come up for the day. It's your own little peaceful paradise here. I'm Natalie Herbick, and we'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland.